The second episode of Gundam GQuux is now out, and filled with references to the original series. I alluded to some of them in my last video explaining everything you need to know to understand the series, but now that the episode's actually out and I have the footage to show you, let's go through a lot of them. The first and most obvious thing that was also in the first episode is just that the Gundam has been repainted red. The original series' anti-villain piloted a customised red Zaku, and that became the character's signature colour, so all of his mobile suits are always red. Then episode 2 starts and shows the full colony entry that is exactly the same as how the original Gundam series started all those years ago in 1979, only this time with Char present and on the mission right from the beginning, so that he can steal the Gundam and basically create the entire show that we are now watching and getting to enjoy. So thank you, Char. The music used throughout this episode is also almost all from the original series, and so stands out quite a bit as a result, and honestly still holds up really well. It still works really well for these scenes and where it's used. The title card and interstitials are also all references and replicated with a slight twist from the original series.
Gundam Rising.
The White Gundam.
Once Char's in the Gundam, he starts to make it move in the exact same ways as the original series. Its leg moves first, just the same, and then the way it sits up is replicated perfectly, with it even venting from the chest in the same way, where the wind, or whatever it is that comes out of the chest, curves forward. It doesn't just come out straight. It looks a little odd in the original series, but they still replicated it here, and it's so cool. The mobile suit he then fights is the gun cannon, one of the main suits from the original series that the Gundam always fought alongside, and instead it now destroys. And the frame where it stabs it is also replicated from the original series. The whole combat that Char has outside the colony in space is also filled with references. He shoots a bunch of missiles just like the original protagonist had to, and then, even though he's in the Gundam this time, repeats his exact same moves from his original fight against the Gundam, where he comes in for a big shoulder bash, then zooms and shocks the opposing pilot with a shot of the mobile suit's face, and then does a classic big kick. Interestingly here, there's another reference that I didn't notice in cinemas when he damages the opposing Gundam's head, and specifically face and eyes, and it's revealed to have 4. I didn't notice that until now making this video, and that's interesting because I don't think there are any other Gundams in this universe with eyes like that, but they're awfully similar to Evangelion eyes, so we actually also have a pretty cool little reference to something outside of Gundam and to the animation studio and the mecha designer's previous work. The ship they steal in this episode is also the main ship from the original series that we follow for its entire runtime, known there as a few things depending on the translation: the White Base, the White Horse, or the Pegasus. Now captured by Zeon and renamed and repainted so it's no longer even white. We also see some locations from the original series, like the asteroid base Solomon, which is just a huge star-shaped asteroid that Zeon has dug tunnels through and hollowed out and put a base inside of. And we also see that a meme from the original series has been fulfilled. The Big Zam weird funny looking mobile armour has been mass produced. And the episode then actually kind of rushes through the ending. I've actually seen more of what happens in the theatrical release that I was lucky enough to see of the first 4 episodes. So maybe slight spoilers here because they might come back to it, but I'd be as well telling you what I saw. So the Federation has captured Zeon's asteroid base and is now trying to drop it onto a base that is on the surface of the moon. This is actually something that Zeon did first, right at the start of the war, Much more devastatingly, they dropped an entire space colony onto the Earth and killed billions of people. Again, I made a video explaining everything, so go and check that out if you want to know more. But here it is now the Federation trying to do it against the moon, and Char is tasked with trying to stop it. And in the movie, we see him actually trying to do that and infiltrating the asteroid and actually having ulterior motives and planning to sabotage the mission. But he gets stopped by a special Federation mobile suit in the classic Gundam colours, except now that the Federation doesn't have their Gundams anymore, it is instead a gun cannon, but heavily modified using some of the data and everything from the Gundams to make it stronger and more effective, and its pilot is actually implied to be someone very important to Char, his little sister Artesia. In this special gun cannon, she has apparently been the Federation's ace pilot, fulfilling the role that the original series' protagonist was. The fact that she is Char's little sister, and their complicated feelings about facing each other in battle, alongside the fact that they are both new types, is what causes the huge, strange, psychic event that the series calls a Zek Nova. Then, the last couple of things I want to talk about are also in the first episode. Shal Yabul is also actually a character from the original series. He was actually quite heavily shipped with Char at the time, which is actually one of the things that helped keep the original series afloat. And so you can kind of tell they've lent into that in GQuX because he looks a bit different. They've prettied him up a bit, and it's pretty good. It makes for quite a nice, interesting, and different relationship for Char and for the series. Lastly, the installer device that are needed to activate a mobile suit's weaponry, and that the first episode is about, are designed to look like a circuit board that the Gundam's original designer, Tem Ray, had in the original series. Just a nice little detail that they threw in. That's about everything I think worth mentioning. Like I said, I have a video explaining everything you need to know and all of the backstory and everything. If you're new to Gundam, go and check that out. Otherwise, I have other anime videos that I want to make. Like, currently I really want to make one on the lesson that you can take away from Attack on Titan. So please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.